Professor Dershowitz, always great to have you. Your take on the situation at Columbia. What should the university be doing to these students?
It's much more dangerous than I think the media has presented it. What we see, particularly outside the campuses, but sometimes inside the campuses, are a fifth column, are a group of radical students who would actually join Hamas if Hamas came to America and tried to engage in terrorism here. If it comes to a theater near you, these are students who are chanting, rape is resistance, we love Hamas rockets, burn down Tel Aviv, 10,000 more October 7th. These are not people who are calling for peace. They're not people who are calling for feeding the residents of Gaza or for a ceasefire. They're calling for terrorism against America, against Jewish students. And I think there are hundreds, perhaps thousands, but at least hundreds of these extreme radicals who would join Hamas, who would actually plant bombs. Let's remember we have a history of this. During the 1970s, when I represented some of the dissidents against the Vietnam War, there were others who planted bombs at the University of Wisconsin, who tried to blow up the recruiting center at Fort Dix, who blew up other universities, who murdered people, who murdered policemen. And by the way, one of the people who murdered policemen in New York was then appointed to a faculty position at Columbia University, Catherine Boudin, who served, I don't remember, 25, 30 years for participating in the killing of Rockland County police officers. She was offered a position and took it and taught students at Columbia. So what we're seeing is people who will engage in terrorism, people who will endanger your lives and the lives of your children, are calling for, we are Hamas. If we are Hamas, that means you will join Hamas. That means we are rapists. We are murderers. We are kidnappers. We are beheaders. So these are not children who are just chanting from the river to the sea. That's bad enough. These are people who will join Hamas and will plant bombs in your schools, in your libraries, in your synagogues, and they must be stopped before they have an opportunity to engage in actual terrorism.
Some pretty bad people out there, without a doubt here. Professor, I want to ask you about this. It all starts in the top, in my opinion.
Sure.
Joe Biden, he's largely remained silent at a lot of this. Let's take a look at what happened earlier today.
Mr. President, do you have a message for the protesters on campus?
Mr. Doesn't get sold, Mr. President.
That is Joe Biden making no comment, walking away, not addressing this issue.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's terrible. I have a piece in today's Wall Street Journal where I accused Biden of doing the same thing he accused President Trump of doing. Remember, he accused President Trump of saying there are very fine people on both sides. That was probably a misstatement of what Trump actually said. But the point is, what Biden said the other day is that he opposes anti-Semitism, but he equally condemns people who don't understand what's happening to the Palestinians. Well, let me tell you what's happening to the Palestinians. They're being killed and starved by Hamas. It's not Israel's fault. So, Joe Biden, I'm one of those people who doesn't understand what's happening to the Palestinians the way you do. I think what's happening to the Palestinians is happening because of other Palestinians, the people of Hamas, who are starving and using Palestinians as human shields. How dare you make a comparison between rapists and murderers and anti-Semites on the one hand, and people like me who see the Palestinian issue in a nuanced way? That's absolutely wrong. And it does start from the top. And I think that President Biden bears responsibility for not unequivocally condemning the anti-Semitism and, worse, the potential terrorism. The potential terrorism. These young people are potential terrorists, and they should be treated as such. These are people who will join Hamas. They've already said, we are Hamas. Mm-hmm. Why are you waiting? It was Elie Wiesel who once said, always believe the threats of your enemies rather than the promises of your friends. So the threats of our enemies are telling us they want to bring 9/11s. They want to bring October 7th. They want to bring rapes. They want to bring beheadings and murders to a theater near you in the United States. Believe them when they say that, and don't ignore them.
Seems like hiding in plain sight right before our very eyes. Yeah. It's unfolding. Professor Alan Dershowitz, sir, thanks for coming on. Stop back soon.
Thank you.